So I've been noticing a lot of dislikes from disgruntled Shoeonhead fans, and of course Nightmare Fuel podcast fans, and other fans of people who I've rationally debunked, both on Twitter and on YouTube. But I've noticed a lot of these people not actually presenting any arguments, in fact, not really making an argument at all. They are merely presenting ad hominem attacks, such as calling me stupid, retarded, or saying that I'm not getting their joke. It's just a meme to them, as the great Crouch and T would put it. I mean, these people are lying to themselves about being skeptical. They are nowhere near as good as Crouch and T could be. They are nowhere near that level. And ultimately, he's the most logical person I've heard. He is one of the peak philosophers of our time, and I really do believe that. He is a peak philosopher of our lifetime, and we need to recognize that. Now, of course, in the aftermath of this, Shu tweeted out a tweet, which I'm going to put on the screen here. She made this tweet, and then immediately deleted it, and I think I know what happened. I think she put it out and then realized that she missed the argument I was making. She just ignored it. And that is the kind of thing an unskeptical person would actually do. That is the kind of person she is. She's not a skeptic at all. She is not rational. I mean, she is not any of those things. She is a hack, a fraud, like most of them are. But, after all, she is probably never going to respond to me because she's afraid. I mean, she's obviously afraid. She puts out a tweet and then realizes, people may think I'm wrong. I better delete this. That's all people like her do. They are unskeptical and unrational people. But despite all this, Shu also made some logical fallacies and argumentative errors in some of her other videos, such as, Shoeonhead for President 2016, or the similar. I will play a few clips from it, and I'll explain why these are wrong, explain why she fundamentally does not understand this. She is an unskeptical person, and if she thought about things, she may, have a bit more rational in her thinking. She may be a bit more rational in her thinking. And I think that's ultimately what she needs to do. So, let's go into this video right now.
That side's dumb, everyone's an idiot except for me. Well, fear not, undecided voters, and I'm talking to you too, Ken Bone. Who the fuck cares about your pregnancy kink? That's one of the most normal and understandable kinks ever. I am making the announcement that I'm running for president at the last minute.
Now, there are already a few major problems with Shoeonhead running for president, especially this last minute. First of all, she is not of the age of 35, which is a requirement to become US President. And as she is not that age, she cannot actually run for US President, which is really her first mistake. I mean, do you need any more mistakes than one? But let's continue anyway. Now, of course, her second mistake, as we all know, is that she's running last minute. I mean, at this last minute, she doesn't have the momentum to be able to gain any sort of power or presence in the political scene. And as we know, that is the most important thing. And of course, being a rational skeptic, like myself, she would be very good at getting in, because, people think rationally, and the rationals are just so in touch with the larger community at hand. She would be perfect for running for president, except that fact that she came in last minute. She could just not have the time to build up enough support to actually win. And that's really her main problems with this. She really needs to think a lot more skeptically before she makes videos like this. But of course, there are other videos, such as her Christmas celebration video, which has so many major flaws in it that I just can't help but point out. So we'll move on to that one as well. It is not rational to celebrate a pagan deity that is associated with a Catholic holiday. As an atheist, this is neither rational or skeptical to support such superstitions and propagate such a destructive ideology. When you celebrate Christmas, you endorse Satanist child abusers because Santa is an analogous to Nimrod, aka Cronus, deities of time and death. You endorse child sacrifice in Abrahamic religions. You endorse the story of Satan entering your home in the night and seducing your children with gifts of materialism and decadence. You endorse the myth of devourer of your child being ritualized in your home, and you must disavow Christmas, aka the Feast of Saturnalia. Babylonian Trinity myth repackaged as harmless Catholic tradition, perpetrated upon your children generation after generation, indoctrinated them into these irrational myths. is a terrible thing, and you must disavow it. It causes violence and is ultimately lead to violence. Now, of course, for this all to be coherent, we must understand first how Nimrod is Santa. In both these photos I'm just about to put up, they are both holding tree symbols, which are both symbols of the Nineveh artifact, which was specifically designed by the pagan deity who designed the image of Santa. And in both photos, they have long beards to symbolize that they are both part with God. And, of course, also in both photos, they're holding reindeer to symbolize the way they travel. These are clear connections which you cannot skeptically or rationally deny. If you endorse Santa, you endorse violence, as simple as it is. Now, of course, there is Vernaculus, who on his Twitter has openly endorsed violence. If we have a look at this tweet, in this he is openly stating that without violence, there's no way of stopping different races from marrying, fucking having babies. These things are not going to happen without violence. I mean, it's a fallacy that these things should not happen at all. But it's even more unrational that you have to use violence to do this. It would be so much more rational if they use the power of their words and the power of their thoughts to do it. But of course, Vernaculus is not the kind of person to do that, so of course, what would you expect from him? However, luckily Spino is here to help debunk racist people and violent people such as Millennial Woes and Richard Spencer, both of which are very violent people. As with this tweet Spino has here, he points out how Richard Spencer is endorsing a person who advocates terrorism, and Millennial Woes does advocate terrorism. No matter how hard he denies it, he does. And I'm so glad Spino was the one to point this out, because he was the one who needed to do it. He is the one person who can do it. He is one of the best rationals I have seen. He is a philosopher of our time. They are the modern philosophers. But I guess we can't all be as rational as Spino is, or as skeptical as he is. He is a master of it. But I hope you guys have a good Christmas, and I'll see you guys next time.